Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another show. I'm Drux Malan, and today we're going to be talking about what's going down Saturday night in Las Vegas. There's a fight that's of great interest to South Africans, but let's talk about the main event for now. The main event will see one of the young up-and-coming young guns of a lightweight division take on a veteran of a sport, a guy who's been there and done that. Now, when we talk about the lightweights, we have a top dog, which is Teofimo Lopez, who's for all intents and purposes the undisputed champion. It might be a bit of something of a WBC title, but we'll get to that now. And then we have the young guns. We've got Ryan Garcia, who just had a breakout win over Luke Campbell, the speedster, the youngster, the social media star. I was going to say Tank Davis, Javonte Davis, who jumps between junior lightweight and lightweight, but he's saying that his future lies in the junior welterweight division now. So that is clearly not happening. And then the guy who's maybe not grabbing as much spotlight as those, maybe not quite as marketable or loquacious or exciting in style, is a guy by the name of Devin Haney, Devin the Dream Haney, 25-0, 15 stoppages. And he might be the best of a lot eventually. You never know, because he checks all the boxes. He's an undefeated fighter. He's got great all-round boxing skills. He can fight from range. He can fight a little bit on the inside. I have a feeling he likes it more from range. Not the huge explosive puncher that Davis is, and not quite as quick or charismatic as Ryan Garcia. And he has obviously not accomplished what Teofimo Lopez did by beating Vasyl Lomachenko. But he is a very solid fighter. We in South Africa know him for handing Kholisani and Dongeni his first defeat. Now, he picked up the WBC interim title by when Zaur Abdullayev retired in 4 rounds. And then, in his strange sanctioning body politics, he was elevated to full WBC champion when Vasyl Lomachenko, that won the vacant WBC title by beating Luke Campbell, was suddenly made franchise champion, and then sort of like the WBA super champion. And then can you defend that franchise title or not? Sometimes and sometimes not. So people then ended up, well, Ring Magazine ended up recognizing Haney as a WBC champion. For me, Vasyl Lomachenko was a WBC champion, and he was beat by Teofimo Lopez. Lopez has got that green belt, but he's now a franchise champion or something ridiculous like that. So that's a situation that's bad in boxing. It's not fair on anybody. Now I call Devin Haney an email champion, which is also not fair on him. But nonetheless, Devin Haney does have a WBC world title, whether you regard him as such or not. And he is an undefeated fighter. He's a young gun. He's one of the guys out there to watch. And he is up against Jorge Linares. Now, Jorge Linares is a guy who's been around for a long time. He's a freeweight world champion. He's a Venezuelan based in Japan, and he's fought all around the world. And, you know, he started at featherweight, won the WBC world title there. I think 2007, 2008, he moved up, won... I think it was the WBA version of a junior lightweight title, made a few defenses, and then lost it by first round knockout to Juan Carlos Salgado. Rebuilt himself with a string of victories, and then in America fighting for a vacant WBC lightweight title, came unstuck again, was stopped by Antonio DeMarco, and then in his very next fight he was stopped again by Sergio Thompson. So one would have thought he's not quite as good as his hype. That's it, but he crawled his way back. He kept winning. Eventually won lightweight titles, WBC and WBA, then picked up the ring belt, was recognized as the man in the lightweight division after a pair of victories over Anthony Crolla in the UK, so he can win decisively on the road. Also has a victory at lightweight over Luke Campbell. It was a close one, but he managed to outpoint Luke Campbell. Now, Jorge Linares, 47-5. He's been there, he's done that, a freeweight world champion. He's beaten some very good names, also lost to some. He is known for his hand speed. He's a speedster. He's a very, very quick boxer. He can fight on the inside, he can go to the body, he can go on the outside. And sometimes it takes a special effort to beat Jorge Linares. And sometimes you just got to catch him at the right time in the fight and be at the right place and time. because after he lost his lightweight title to Vasyl Lomachenko, after putting Lomachenko down, he 2 fights later he was stopped by Pablo Cesar Cano, and he was stopped in the foreign junior welterweight division, and it seemed over, but he came back with 2 victories. So all 5 of Jorge Linares' losses have come by way of stoppage. Now, the chalk says that Linares is 35 years old, which isn't all that old, but he's had a lot of fights and he's been stopped before. He's been in some tough fights, he's been in some wars. There's got to be miles on that clock. And Devin Haney is a young, 22 years old, a real young buck. And I think, and sometimes in fights, that is not the be all and end all, but I think in this case it's as simple as that. Linares has had his time, and Haney is just starting to have his. He doesn't have a names that Linares has. His best victory was his last one over Jorge Gamboa, who was 38 years old. Is Haney going to stop Linares? He really needs a good, just beating Linares is not really going to get the tongues wagging that much. He needs to make a statement, and he needs to try and get Linares out of there. If I was Haney, I'd jump on Linares quick. Linares has a thing of being vulnerable early. Jump on him, try and get him out there early, and then, if not, settle in the boxing rhythm, work that body, and try and time Linares' speed. Because Linares, I'm pretty sure he's gonna go on the outside at first. Maybe if he doesn't feel Haney has the power to bother him, he'll fight more. And he's a guy that does like to fight in spots, and that's when he sometimes becomes unstuck. You know, he does get knocked down. Even Kevin Mitchell knocked him down in a UK title defense. But can you keep him there? Linares has got a lot of heart. But lesser fighters than Haney, like Cano and so on, have been able to stop Linares. Now, is Haney going to be able to do the trick? Because I sometimes think he just doesn't have that extra dimension that steps on the gas on a world-class level, when he's really on the world-class to get a guy out of there. I mean, Olisani Ndongeni was stopped in a huge upset on this side after losing to Devin Haney, and he went the distance and he competed. He was very well beaten, but he competed. So I wonder, you know, if Linares can put in an inspired performance. I think he goes the distance and gives Haney some trouble, but I'm kind of thinking Haney knows that he needs to make a statement here, and if Linares can't hurt him or make him think twice, I think he's going to go for it and try and get Linares out of it. He has to if he wants to get tongues wagging. So I'm going to go simply by way of a fresher fighter, a younger fighter, and I think Devin Haney knows he has to do something impressive here, and I think he is going to stop Jorge Linares maybe around 8. You know, I don't say it with a lot of confidence, but I'm reasonably confident that Devin Haney will prevail. You know, Gamboa went the distance with Haney, but you don't easily stop Jorge Gamboa. I mean, I think only Terence Crawford has been able to do that. So I do think that Linares goes down a bit easier than Gamboa, even though he's rangier. But yeah, that is it. I think Devin Haney is the winner this weekend. Stoppage around 8, and retain his lightweight belt, and then hopefully we can at some time in the future see him against Teofimo Lopez, or even against Ryan Garcia, so we can get all these guys fighting each other. But that's it. So until we see each other again, if you've watched this far, please give the channel a like, a thumbs up, and please give me a subscribe. I will really appreciate that, and share. And until we see each other, keep those gloves up.